Hello, Tubies, and how are you all doing? I hope you're doing fantastically well. So, what we're doing today is we're doing two curses. And before we do that, well, you're going to watch them happen, and I will explain things as we go along. We must light the spirit candle. Light. There we go. See, now we're going to poke some holes in this main candle. So this video does contain some blood magic, but you won't see them because in the next clip where there is blood magic, I've zoomed into the candle so that you don't see anything that you shouldn't be seeing. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So the other thing that is important to realize here is that we're working with demons. We're doing two curses. We're working with Nebuchadnezzar. We've got our demon conjuring incense slash candle dressing. I tend to use incense as well as candle dressings as well as using them as incense. We've also got our demon conjuring oil, and again, we're just putting some holes in this candle. Now, you might be thinking, this candle looks very familiar. That's because it's a reversal candle. Now, you might be thinking, why would you use a reversal candle in a curse? Because reversal candles don't just reverse your bad luck and turn it into good luck. If you put the appropriate intentions in, then you can turn the good luck of the person into bad luck. Now, this particular spell worked, but didn't fully work because we are currently in the middle of a pandemic. So what happened, you might be asking? Well, he is a 70-year-old man who lives below me, and he screams at the top of his lungs, he gets drunk, he bangs on his guitar, he blares his TV, he does this, he does that. And you have to realize that this is a 1950s building, so the floors are not made of concrete like they might be in some of the condos or apartments that you may or may not be living in at the moment. The floors are made out of wood, and with barely any insulation between them, so you can hear everything. Everything that you want to hear, you can possibly hear. You can hear when they take a shower, you can hear when they watch TV, you can hear when they're talking to each other, you can hear anything and everything. This particular person is very, very loud and very noisy, so we needed to get him out of the building. We wanted him gone. We wanted him to suffer. We wanted him to be in misery, pain, and agony, because he's annoying. Just super, super annoying. Unfortunately, because of the pandemic, he wasn't able to be evicted, but he came so close. He came within a 24-hour eviction notice within about a month after me doing the spell. And I was just so happy. And then something happened where he couldn't be evicted, and then the pandemic happened, where he was about to be evicted. Like, everybody was just sick of it. Everybody was done with it. Everybody was like, hey, this is it. This is, we're done. Okay, 51 noise complaints against this person. Okay, we tried so hard, and then the pandemic happened, and we couldn't get rid of him. So we're just putting the Nebuchadnezzar sigil on the candle, because you can't see what I'm doing, because I have zoomed in a little bit more so that you couldn't see the blood magic aspect of it. Doing blood magic is not something I like to show on YouTube because it feels fake. It doesn't feel real. I don't know. That's just my perception. I'm not saying that if you yourself go and do a YouTube video and you show blood magic being used, that it will be considered fake or not real. It just feels like there are some parts of the craft that I wanted to keep to myself, and you'll sometimes see, like, the box beside me on the left hand side is a little diabetic needle box. You're supposed to prick your finger, but I don't like pricking my finger because it hurts, so I prick further up on the arm. In the muscle area, I try to find an area that I can prick that won't bleed a lot. So that's my story. Okay, and we're putting our demon, so the oil you're seeing here is our demon conjuring oil, and we're just pushing the oil kind of into the holes. I notice that when people do these types of candle magic spells, whatever the spell is, and they're using jar candles, that they don't poke holes in. They just put oil and then some herbs on, and they're like, it's stressed, and I'm like, the top part of it is stressed, yeah. And they're like, well, as the wax melts, it'll slowly go down and down and down. I'm like, oil and wax don't mix, so it'll just always float on top. What I like to do is, like you saw, I put the holes into the bottom, or into the candle, all the way down to the bottom. And then from there, we go and put our oil and our incense in. This freaking thing will not prick properly. I don't know why. You're probably like, well, that's because you're going too far up the arm. You should just go on the finger. Well, guess what? I don't like it. It's painful. So let's just take a second, okay? So now we're just going to put a little bit of dragon's blood on there. I thought I put some demon conjuring incense on here. The dragon's blood was to hurry the fuck up. We want this to happen now. And it took a while for it to happen. Magic does not happen within 24 hours. Okay, it can, but it doesn't always. And a spell like this took a month and then took more months. And I had to keep working it and working it and working it. And then the pandemic hit. Okay? So now we're just going to put some intentions in. So I'll be right back, my fabulous little skitties. Ooh, let's talk about the Grimoire. I never get to talk about the Grimoire anymore, and I really want to talk about the Grimoire, especially the first 2 seasons. So season 1, we got dark and twisty and scary and damaged and broken, and season 2, you're like, we did the exact same thing, except we were dealing with a different topic. We were dealing with the fact that I'm poor, or was poor, still poor, but not as poor. And I've got bills, and I've got debt, and I've got stuff that I need to pay off, and I'm in the position where I'm able to pay that stuff off now, and I'm working on it, and it's a slow process, and I'm blessed during these times to have a stable, full-time, secure job, so thank the Lord for that. But what I don't have is a man. And I didn't focus too much on the love aspect of the second season of the Grimoire. It was mostly focused on the financial aspect with a little bit of love thrown in there. But I don't have a man, and I'm very, very lonely, and that's very, very depressing. I know, it's sad and it's pathetic, and people keep telling me, oh, you'll find the right one, he'll come along, you'll know when it's him, so on and so forth. And that might be true, but I'm like 32 this year. In fact, pretty sure I've already turned 32 while you guys are watching this, and I have been single for 6 years, okay? So I don't know what to do anymore, and my love spells never seem to work for me. So, and the only thing I've got going for me are dating apps. And you're like, well, dating apps don't help anybody date. Well, true, but you can't find anybody even when there isn't a pandemic going on, because this city is just bad for that. It's just bad for dating. And I don't have the money to move to a different city, and I don't really feel like uprooting my life to move to a different city. So I have to make use of what I have here. And there are some good people that I have met, but it never works out. It fizzles out, it fades away, it just disappears. And I'm just like, I don't know why. This second particular spell that we're doing, we're going to be using the white candle to the left of me, laying on the ground there. Those types of candles never burn properly. Never, ever, ever burn properly. The one that I lit, the red one that's on like right in front of where I'm writing, it burned cleanly and it burned perfectly. This particular spell is on the upstairs neighbor because he's loud, but he's not super loud. He just stomps around, and his girlfriend is loud, if you get what I mean, in the bedroom, right? So we wanted to get rid of them. We wanted them both to move out. He's also something like 60 years old. He's not a drunk, and he doesn't play guitar, thank God for that. But I tried to get rid of him, and it felt like something was saying no. No, we're not getting rid of him. No, I'm not helping you with this. And it wasn't, when you do magic on somebody, let's say you're doing magic on a witch. Let's use Ember Honeyraven, for example. Let's say you're cursing Ember Honeyraven. Don't curse Ember Honeyraven, but let's pretend that you are. So with Ember Honeyraven, chances are you're going to feel a really strong pushback as her entities and her spirits are like, fuck this is not happening. And then let's say and then compare that to doing a curse on, say, a gas station attendant because they were a dick to you, right? And then the pushback that you get from there doesn't feel the same as, say, cursing Ember Honeyraven. It's more of your entities being like, no, I'm not doing this. And that's exactly what happened here, is Nebuchadnezzar was like, no, I'm not helping you with this. Like, we're not, like, this will not work. And I kept telling her, I was like, don't worry, I'll keep putting intentions in, I'll keep focusing on it, and no. It did not work. And remember, like I said in some video, maybe it was the last one, your magic won't always work. And that's okay. It's perfectly fine. I know some people will freak out. They'll go to Facebook groups, they'll go to YouTube, they'll go to whatever, and they'll be like, my spell didn't work. Do I do it again? Or the candle burned a weird way. Do I do it again? Blah, blah, blah. And people don't go off their gut feeling. My gut feeling with this one, when I was putting the intentions in, was it will not work. However, I decided to ignore those gut feelings and just continue going anyways, thinking that, well, you know what? It will work. So we're just going to put in some of our demon conjuring oil. And I don't make a lot of this oil. It's also a cursing oil that I tend to make. So I tend to mix a demon conjuring oil in with a cursing oil. And I only use this oil when I'm cursing people, and I don't make a lot of it. Like, there's no point. And we're putting some demon conjuring incense in here. It's got dragon's blood in it, so it would technically speed this up. So there's all of that fun stuff. Now we're just going to put the sigil on top of the candle, tape it onto the candle, make sure that it is sitting on there tightly and properly. Okay, so now that we're done putting our intentions in, and we've lit the candle, the other thing to do now is, well, nothing, because both of the candles are done. I don't feel confident about this left one for the white candle that's burning. Okay, I don't at all. I really don't. And we're just gonna leave now. So, here you can see we've got our upstairs candle to the left, we've got our downstairs candle to the right, we've got our spirit candle in the middle, okay? And again, the right candle worked for the most part. Got us really, really close to what we wanted, but then things happened. And then the candle to the left never worked at all, okay? So I hope that you guys learned something from this, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and until next time, my fabulous little scabbies.